Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, September 27th. It is 6:23 right now. Market's gonna open in about 7 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. So we'll see where this goes. All right, so let me, sorry guys, I'm updating the live session right now. I got a couple things here that I gotta update. Once I'm done with this, we'll get started shortly. All right, looks good. Looks good. Good. All right, it looks like we are good to go. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. And we'll get started shortly. Good. All right, looks like we are good to go, guys. Link sent out. Get a few moments for people to make their way in. And it looks like we are good to go. All right, guys, morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, September 27th. It is 6:26 right now. Market's going to open in about 4 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. As I mentioned yesterday, guys, we're going to be marking up liquidity slightly different. We're going to be marking up the higher highs and lower lows with a red line indicating that it's a risky liquidity area, because typically the higher highs and lower lows are areas where price tends to bounce. So for the higher highs and lower lows, I'll be marking them up with a red line to be careful. And the regular high lows and lower highs, I will be marking them up with a blue line. So just keep that in mind, guys. Because the color is going to signify whether it's going to be, sort of a risky entry where you might want to not take it or wait for the second touch, or if you want to just go for 100 pips or so. So blue lines are going to be a little bit better, easier to manage. And we'll just see how this plays through. I mean, if it doesn't work well, then we'll go back to our old way of marking them up. It doesn't really matter. There's still liquidity, so it's not making a difference. It's the same thing. It's just we're identifying which ones are riskier than others. So don't try to make it too much of a big deal, guys. I mean, some people are like really confused about it. There's no confusion about it. It's the same thing. It's just marking up levels of liquidity. Either way, there's still liquidity. So don't just try not to make a big deal of it and try to confuse it, because we're not doing anything different. The only difference is we're marking them up as levels of importance, which is exactly what we were doing before with regard to time frame. But this makes more sense. There's more logic behind this versus the other way of marking up different colors. So, all right, got those marked up right there. Going down to the 1 hour. Yeah, and there shouldn't be any confusion regarding this either, guys. This is very simple what we're doing here. It's nothing different. So I just want to make it clear for a lot of people, just in case there is some confusion. So got liquidity market right there, right there. Going down to the 30-minute. Down to the 15-minute. Let's go there. Going down to the 10-minute. And it looks like we are good to go. All right, guys. So going down to the 1 minute right here, we have all liquidity marked up. First level of liquidity is going to be down below right here. This might get hit pre-market, but I mean, we'll see what happens here. It's yeah, it's probably gonna get hit pre-market. It just did. Market is now open, guys. So there goes the first entry. If anybody looked to take the liquidity right there, it almost got hit pre-market, but it actually went straight through. So we're looking at that right there. Market is now open, guys. We're looking for 2 red candles here. If we get 2 red candles, possibility, I'm probably not going to take the breakout V2, guys. You guys can see the big spike to the downside right here. It's not really a good move because the overextension is pretty extreme right now. It was way too quick. Yeah, like what Marcin said, it was way too quick. It like literally spiked down and just shot straight down further. So I'll mark it up if the breakout V2 comes up, guys, but I'm probably not going to take it, just to be honest, because this is not, it's not a good time to take anything right now at this crazy spike in price, because price might just reverse right back up. So liquidity right here, depending on which liquidity you took, if you went for 100 pips, it already hit TP. The 300 pip move is still running right now currently. Looking over here at the breakout V2, I'll be looking for possible entry, but the way that the market's moving right here, it's probably best to just sit out and wait a little bit for the market to kind of stabilize a bit, because it's just moving a little too crazy right now here on open. So I'd probably just wait for the market to stabilize a little bit. This thing spiked down. So this first initial candle on pre-market actually spiked down about 500 pips. And then the opening candle right here spiked down even further, about 300 pips. So it's spiking through pretty heavily right there, as you guys can see. So, all right, let's see if there is, let me go and mark up opening price real quick. Yeah, you probably want to just sit tight, guys, and wait for the market to stabilize. It's not a good time to be taking risky trades with all of this crazy movement right here. Got that right there for open. No markup. Yeah, this thing is just spiking around like super heavily. So technically the breakout V2 hasn't come up yet, so we're still waiting for that there. But even if it does come up, I'm probably going to hold off on the breakout V2. I'll mark it up and we'll follow it, but probably not going to take it because of the I mean, this movement right here is pretty intense pre-market. The last thing you want to do is enter a trade and then it reverses on you immediately on entry, because of, like, you guys can see these huge wicks right here. I'll have to check the news as well. So we're still looking for 2 red candles. If we have 2 red candles, it's going to be the breakout V2. But at the moment, I mean, the movement right now is just too insane. So looking over here, we had news at 4 o'clock. So 4 o'clock, 5:30, there was news. Then we have news at 7:30. So 4 o'clock, 5:30, and then 7:30 right here. So let me go and mark up the other news, 4 o'clock, which was right there. And then 5:30, which was right there. So news happened right next to each other right there. Again, guys, here is a possible entry for the breakout V2. Again, I'm not going to take this trade, guys. The movement right here is just too volatile and it's too erratic. Whenever you see some crazy movement like this, prior to entry, it typically becomes a very, very risky entry. Plus this candle here is huge. But I'll mark it up if and when this closes as a red candle, this will be the breakout V2. I'm not going to take the trade. It's right at sessions as well. So it might just bounce back up. So I'll mark it up right here. It's about to close red, 2 red candles right there, sell momentum. The entry for the breakout V2 is right here. It's currently running. I'll follow it again, guys, but I'm not going to take the trade. I give you guys as much warning right there as possible. It's just not really a good entry to take because of all this crazy movement right here pre-market. So we'll follow it and we'll see where it goes. But again, I'm not in this position, following it and just taking it for documentational purposes. Yeah, hopefully it hits. I mean, I'd rather have it hit and then it still works in our favor, but I'm not going to take the trade, of course, because I wouldn't want to be stressed out trading around sessions right here. As you guys know, the sessions is areas where price tends to be manipulated. And this area right here is it's just too risky to be taking it and not really knowing where price is going to go. You know, because this thing can go down pretty heavy and then can come right back up. So if you guys are in this position, I do recommend moving your stop loss and profit. If you're not in the position, I don't recommend hopping into it late. It's just too late at this point. It's already halfway in profit. I'm trying to give you guys like as much warning as possible that I think this is a very risky entry to be holding on to. So if you guys move your stop loss and profit, you should be pretty much guaranteed profit at this point. Yeah, it's probably going to push through. I'm hoping it pushes through, but again, I'm not in this position, so I don't really have a stake in it. I'm just going to look out for the people who are actually taking this position here. All right, so it's still running. You know, I'll put an alert right there at the TP level so we can just come back to it. The alert button to go. Well, whatever. I don't really need it at this point. It looks like it's going to hit already, anyways. It's weird the alert button isn't working. Let me just refresh real quick. We used to use a lot of alerts before, but we just haven't really been using them very much. Yeah, the trade is still running in profit. Looks like it's almost there. TP is going to be right there. Breakout V2, TP. And there you go. Full TP with the breakout V2, guys. So if you guys took it, you know, great work. I mean, props to you if you were able to hold on to that. Even myself, I'd be stressed out holding on to that position, even though it didn't go into drawdown at all. It was just a risky position to keep bouncing back and forth. So if you guys take the breakout V2, full TP right there, I'll put that into our documents for entry points. So looking at this over here, another win. So 2 back-to-back wins for the breakout V2. Today's the 27th. An entry came up at $6.34. And we're just documenting these trades, guys, so that in the future, we'll know exactly what to look for. So for this right here, it was for a sell. It was a win. Full TP right there. All right, looks good. So breakout V2 is now currently on a win streak, which is pretty solid. The next entry that we might be looking at would be the momentum counter scalp. Again, the market here is moving a little too crazy, so I'm not really looking to take anything out of the ordinary, but we'll see if we could find something. So for example, if we get a buy signal right here and then price comes back down for a momentum counter scalp, you know, I'll let you guys know if I do decide to take it. But again, at this moment right now, I'm being a little more careful with entries because the market is just moving a little too erratic. The problem with the movement, like YouTube. So the problem with this, with the movement in price, is that there's going to be room for a lot of fake outs. So that's why I don't like trading when the market's moving erratic like this, because it can easily just shift and go opposite of where you plan on it going. For me personally, I like when price is kind of ranging a bit and then it breaks out, right? That's typically like the ideal type of movement, because you want price to be consolidating or ranging a little bit, And then eventually, you know which direction price is going to go. So when it comes back down, you'll be ready to take your entry in that direction. So breakout V2 is running right now. What we're looking for next for the momentum counter scalp is we're looking for a buy signal for price to push up. And then we're going to look for price to consolidate there a bit and then come back down. So that would be the momentum counter scalp. The reason for that is because in order for us to do the counter scalp, we need to have momentum going in a direction. So we don't have a buy signal here yet, but once we do get that buy signal, we'll be looking for possible entry in that direction. So a couple strategies we'll be looking for here, which would be the momentum counter scalp right here. It's been doing pretty good. It's on a winning streak right now. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 winning streak for the momentum counter scalp right now. So currently waiting for that to come up. And then I'm going to like that because it's going to be in the direction of our trade anyway. So if we do get a momentum counter scalp, it'll be for a sell. And that's the direction that we're looking for because price is bearish right now, obviously from where price is going. So for momentum counter scalp, we'll be looking for a sell. For the other trade, the intraday scalp, we'll also be looking for a sell as well. If the trend remains bearish, looking over here at the high-low momentum scalp, this can be a possible buy, but we'll see what happens, if that ends up happening. We have a lower low right here. So if we do get a buy signal that crosses pivots 1 and 2, the high-low momentum scalp will be for a buy for the first entry. Other than that, we'll be looking for some momentum pullback scalps as well. So what I'll do here is I'll start marking up the level. So you can see price is starting to range here a little bit. Which is sort of in our favor. It's not necessarily in our favor for it to range too heavily, but now that price is kind of slowing down a little bit, we're going to have some ability to really gauge the market to see if it's going to continue dropping or if it's going to correct back up. So got this set up right there. So if you guys took the breakout, nice work, guys. If not, there's no other entries available here at the moment. Mark up the levels right here at the 10 marks. All right, looks good. So I'll be looking for a couple entries here, guys. Obviously, when I see them, I'll let you guys know, but right now we just don't have anything. I think the closest thing that we can have here, probably the next entry would be a high-low momentum scalp because we have a lower low that's currently running right now, or it's currently pending. Whenever the candle swings back up, it's going to be considered a lower low. So if we get a buy signal that pretty much spikes right back up past the pivots, then that will be a high-low momentum scalp. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the overall bias for today. I'm pretty sure it's bearish. Retail sentiment might be, we'll see. So today's overall bias. Retail sentiment, which is, let's take a look over here. Okay, so retail sentiment is currently 61% long. This indicates that 61% of retail traders are currently buying right now. So we typically want to do the opposite and sell. As you can see from current price right now, the buyers are getting slaughtered right now because price is just getting dumped super heavily. So right now, retail sentiment is bearish, 61% long. Looking over here at the fundamentals, I'm pretty sure it's bearish as well. So fundamentals over here are currently, they're pretty neutral. They're down 21 points. So it's neutral right now. Looking over here at the short-term and long-term. So short-term technicals, I'm pretty sure it's bearish. I'll just put bearish there. Long-term technicals, I'm assuming it's also bearish. So let's take a look at the short-term and long-term fundamentals, and I'm correct. So looking over here at the 1 minute, 5 minute, and 10-minute time frames, you can see prices below the pivots. The trend meter is red, pivots are angling down. This confirms that we have a bearish trend with regard to the lower time frames. Looking over here on the higher time frames, the 30-minute, 1 hour, and 4 hour, same thing. Prices below the pivots, trend meter is red, pivots are angling down. So we have a bearish trend with regard to basically all the time frames. So we have a pretty strong bearish overall bias for today. Which is going to work in our favor because we're looking for sells here anyway. So I want to see price retrace up a little bit, provide that buy signal. And then when I see the correction back down, I'll be looking to ride this back down to the downside. There was a momentum pullback scalp that happened right here already at 631. So this momentum can't be used. We have to wait for the next one. So you can see over here, we had a sell signal. Price was bearish below the pivots right here. This green candle retraced up. The entry for the momentum pullback scalp would have happened at this level right here, and it would have went straight to TP. So, and it was on open too. So it's not one that we would mess with personally. So just gotta wait and be a little patient right here with regards to the, obviously the movement. So we'll see. So guys, just a reminder, if you guys have not joined the Discord, make sure to join the Discord. I think today's going to be the last day I'll be posting on the Telegram. So none of the links here will be on the Telegram anymore. The public link for the YouTube might be posted on here, but the Zoom link is no longer going to be posted on here. So you have to be on the Discord to get the Zoom link. So again, if you guys are not on this, make sure that you join the Discord. I'll post the link back up over here. I'll just do it right now so that you guys don't forget. So just make sure that you guys get on the Discord so that you guys don't miss the Zoom link. When you guys get to the Discord, make sure that you go up to Kodi Kai Trades right here, click on the drop down and click on show all channels. If you don't have that click, it'll look like this. It'll miss a lot of the categories. But once you turn this on, everything will come up. And also, one thing, if you guys haven't checked your direct messages and you guys are on the Discord, make sure you check your direct messages. Because I'm messaging you guys to confirm what your email is, because we need to connect your email to the Discord, or else you guys will just be in limbo. So the high-low momentum scalp right here just came up. Marcin looks like he took it, and it did hit TP if you were taking the original. I don't think let me check real quick. So the ATR right here is 21. Yeah, so if you're doing it based off ATR, it looks like, also the candle is too big. So this actually would have been skipped. But if you did take the original, which is for 100 pips, it looks like it already hit TP. So if you took the original high-low momentum scalp, this here already hit TP, but the candle here was like a little too big. Nice. So Marcin took it for 100 pips, smart move. And he took that right there for the entry. This wouldn't be the entry for the initial because the candle was too big. So we're skipping to the next one. So if you guys took the original entry, it already hit TP, but, and this right here would be the momentum counter scalp if you guys are looking to take it. If this candle here closes red, candle would have to close red though. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, if the candle closes red, this would technically be the momentum counter scalp. It looks like, it's kind of iffy right now. It's not like consistently staying down. It's kind of bouncing back and forth between green and red. So it does not look like it's going to close. Yeah, it didn't. So you need 2 red candles here in order for it to be a momentum counter scalp. It looked like it was supposed to, but it didn't. So there's no counter scalp there. But again, there was a high-low momentum scalp here. There was a lower low. This green candle right here had a buy signal at broken close past pivots 1 and 2. That would be considered a normal high-low momentum scalp. It's not going to be the one that we're testing because this candle here was too big. If you look at the criteria here, it says if momentum candle is over 300 pips, skip to the next entry. So this one right here is skipped, and we're still technically looking for the first entry for the momentum counter scalp, and then also for the intraday scalp, and then also for the momentum counter scalp. So there's a lot of different entries here that are lining up for a sell. We'll just have to take it as is right now because we don't have that sell signal. We also don't have the 2 red candles. So we'll see what happens here. But there's a lot of opportunities that are still available. So just sit tight, guys, and wait for something here to come up. Basically what we're looking for here is we're either looking for 2 red candles or we're looking for a sell signal. So I don't think the high-low momentum scalp is going to come up anytime soon because price is kind of ranging right here. We would need another higher high. So in order for us to get that, we need price to actually push up higher, provide a higher high, and then have that come back down. So that'd be the next opportunity for a high-low momentum scalp. Right now, we're looking for the counter scalp, which is 2 red candles. And then once we get that, we'll be looking for a sell signal, which will be the momentum counter scalp or the momentum intraday scalp. Sorry, we got so many strategies that we're looking at right now. Typically, I focus on just 2 strategies, but right now we're focusing on about 4. The first one already came up, which is the breakout V2, full TP on that for 250 pips. And now we're looking for the momentum counter scalp and the intraday scalp. So just 2 different opportunities right there to possibly come up. Other than that, we will be looking for what's to come. So we got a couple of profits over here from that first entry. Here's Kenny. Kenny locked in a total profit of 2,640. And then his second account over here, 3,860. Nice work, Kenny. We have Barty over here, total profit of 3,000 for the day. Nice work, Barty. And then we have David over here, total profit of 50 for the day. Nice work, David. All right, so we have a possible entry for a intraday scalp right here. It was 2020. There's actually 2 of them that are setting up. So we either have a intraday scalp here for 200 pips, or we have a momentum counter scalp coming up as well. So if this comes up with a sell signal, which it didn't, if it did come up with a sell signal, this would have been a intraday scalp. If we get 2 red candles right here, this will be a momentum counter scalp. So there's a lot of messiness right here with regard to the entry. I mean, there might be 2 entries on this next candle. If the candle closes red and it has a sell signal, it's going to be an entry for 2 different strategies. So that's basically a double confluence. If there's just 2 red candles but no momentum signal, it'll be a counter scalp. And if it comes up with a momentum signal with the red candle, it's going to be a intraday scalp. So I mean, there's a couple of things here to look out for if you guys are looking to take this trade. I mean, the main thing is to look at whether it's a red candle or if it has a momentum signal on it. All right, so it looks like there is no momentum signal on it. So this would just be a counter scalp entry. Man, this market's kind of like super slow now. So it's moving very volatile right here pre-market, as you guys can see it earlier in the market. And then now it's like kind of dead. It's like actually really dead. You guys can see the candle sizes, they're very small. Let me measure this previous candle right here. Yeah, it's like 11 points. So again, guys, this right here would be the momentum counter scalp that's currently running. The volatility is extremely low right now, though. So it's kind of risky for us to be in this position if you do decide to take it. As you can see, there's a lot of manipulation happening right here as price continues to bounce around. I kind of held off on it for right now because I didn't want to hop into something that wasn't really moving very much. I was going to try to hop in later as price continues to come back down. So right here, I'm going to look to put a sell stop order to catch it as it comes down. There's just too much going on. I was looking for the momentum counter scalp, and I was also looking for the intraday scalp right here. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to go for the 100 pips or go for the 190 pips. It's just this is where the confusion comes around. So like it's hard for you to like focus on multiple strategies at once. That's why I typically stick to like 1 or 2, which is like the breakout and then the momentum pullback scalp. But right now we're testing these other strategies to see how these, obviously play through. So price is currently coming down right now. Let's see, my order hasn't filled yet. Still watching it as price continues to, obviously bounce around. Volatility here died down completely. So it was super volatile right here. So my order never filled yet, guys. I'm still waiting for it to fill as it comes back down. It's currently at the sessions right here. Let's see if it bounces off the sessions and comes back down. If it doesn't fill anytime soon, I'm just going to cancel it. There's just no point in me having it sitting there because these scalps are typically supposed to hit right away. So just holding on to it still. waiting for this to make its move. All right, I think I'm just going to cancel my order, guys. I have a pending order here for the entry. I'm still documenting it, but I'm not going to take the entry. You guys can see a lot of this crazy movement right here pre-market causing a lot of this uncertainty throughout the market. So I didn't take this trade here. I'm going to document it as the momentum counter scalp. It's the first loss in about 7 wins. I mean, it's still pretty decent overall. So over here for the momentum counter scalp, let's see where we're at. Yeah, so the first loss in about, let's see, today's 27, 9/27, 23. Entry happened at 6:51. This is for a sell. Loss, -250. All right, so we're pretty much documenting these trades until we determine whether we want to make it an official strategy that we're following or not. So looking at the momentum counter scalp over here, as you guys can see, it still has a very high win rate. It has an 82.61% win rate. We were on a pretty far winning streak over here for about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins. This is the first loss for the momentum counter scalp in about 7 trades. So pretty decent. And yeah, we're just gonna keep testing it. So we have the 2 strategies that came up ready. We had the breakout V2, which was a full TP. We have the momentum counter scalp over here, which was a loss. We still have a couple entries here that are lining up. So we're looking for a sell signal next. If we get a sell signal and it matches the trend meter down below, then that's going to be the intraday scalp. Otherwise, we'll be looking for a high-low momentum scalp moving forward. So, all right, guys, we'll keep looking for this here. Let's see where I'm at right now. All right, this market is like kind of frustrating because that breakout V2 would have been a good entry if only we didn't have this big spike right here. So if you guys saw earlier, the breakout V2 happened right here, right? If we didn't have this huge red candle right here, right before open, like this was just a regular red candle, we could have taken that would have been a solid breakout V2. The only problem here is that the candle was extremely huge. So that's the main reason why we skipped it, is because this big red candle right here. This happened at 6:29, market opened at 6:30. So if we just had a smooth movement, if this didn't happen and there was just 2 red candles, it would have been perfect because our entry would have happened right here actually. So if this here just wasn't there, it would have been perfect. All right, so we're gonna keep testing over here. So we have 2 strategies that came up again, guys. Just a reminder: breakout V2, full TP, momentum scalp, stop loss, and then now we're looking for these 2 right here: intraday scalp and the high-low momentum scalp. It's almost 7 o'clock now, so we'll be looking for a possible momentum pullback scalp as well. So I'll be looking for about 3 strategies right here: looking for intraday scalp, meaning sell signal, matching the trend meter. That's probably going to be the first entry that comes up. So this will probably be the first entry that comes up. And then after that, we'll probably be looking for the momentum pullback scalp. Sorry, guys, 1 second. Let's see, iPhone's asking, hey, Sean, are you using YM data on TradingView for Dow Jones? Yeah, we've been using YM for like the past 2 years now. We haven't used anything else. I mean, YM is the same thing we've been using for like, I can't remember the last time we weren't using YM. So yeah, YM data is the one that we're using here on TradingView. It says right here in the middle. So if you guys are wondering what symbol we're using, it's right here in the middle. It says YM. I always keep the watermark there so that you guys know. And then the time after it is a time frame. So it'll have the symbol and the time frame right here next to it. So if it says 1, we're on the 1 minute. It says 60, we're on the 1 hour symbol and time right there. iPhone said, thanks. For some reason, mine's not marching on MT4. It looks fine. It looks fine to me. I'm not sure. I mean, unless you're on a different symbol. I'm looking at both of them right here, side to side. They're pretty much exactly the same. I mean, you can't even pull up YM on FT up on MT4. You'd be using US30. Are you pulling up YM on yours? You might be pulling something else up. That's probably why. Because there's no YM on MT4. MT4 it would be US30. All right, we're looking for the sell signal right here, guys. So looking at this right here, we're just waiting for this to provide that sell signal. It hasn't closed yet, but if it does close, this will be the intraday scalp. So we'll see if this here plays through. Again, you guys got to wait for it to actually close because it's like you guys can see here that it looks like a sell signal and at the last second it will just disappear. So you got to make sure that it actually closes, guys. Just make sure that you guys are waiting for that, because if not, you might get into a position that's not actually there. So just wait for it. Even if you got to get in late, you know, that's fine too. If this here closes invalid, it's not going to be an entry. It has to have a red candle with it. So no entry there. As you guys can see, the volatility is pretty much dead right here. You know, that earlier entry that we took over here for the counter scalp, it just wasn't a good area to trade in because you can see how price is just being manipulated back and forth. Let me go over here to the queen chart. So you guys can't really see it very well on there because there's so much stuff going on the chart. What I'll do over here is I'll mark up structure. So we got structure right here. And I'll make adjustments as price continues to move along, but pretty much this is the structure that we have right now at the moment. So as you guys can see, there's not really too much going on here. That entry where we took the momentum counter scalp, it just wasn't a good area to trade it because price was ranging around this area. But for documentation purposes, I'm still documenting the trades because it's necessary that we document this. This is the only way we'll know for sure, you know, if a strategy is going to be consistent or not. So again, right here, we have a pending sell signal. But yeah, iPhone, you know, going back to what we were talking about earlier, I'm looking at my MC4, I'm looking at my trading view, it looks exactly the same. So you might be on a different symbol. I think that might be the issue. I don't know if anybody else is having an issue, but it looks exactly the same on my end. I'm also using FTMO as my main account. So if anybody's on TFF and if it looks different, I mean, if you can confirm with iPhone, I don't see any different here. I'll pull it up on my phone too. So let me just pull TFF on my phone and let's see where it's at. I can't say for sure because I don't have it on my chart. I'm just pull up my FTMO. You might want to check if you're like on US30 because you might be on a different symbol. The default symbol for like for TFF is your USD. So you might be on the wrong symbol. It looks fine on my end right here, iPhone. Oh fuck, I just missed the trade. Actually, the candle was too big. Actually, no, the candle's fine. So I think the trade is technically running right now if you guys are looking to take it. I thought it was too big, but it looks like, I mean, it is actually a little too big. It's like right at the 30 mark. So if you guys are looking to take the trade here, I mean, it's technically running right now. I will put an alert right there so that we can follow it. So this would be the intraday scalp. I mean, it's kind of big though. It's big compared to the ATR. So the problem with this here is that I would probably do it at the same size of the candle, which would be like 29. But then again, it's a little too far. Anyways, I missed the trade. So if you guys are in it, see the ATR at the entry was 18 actually. So depending on like how you guys wanted to take it, if you guys wanted to take it based off the ATR, like how we're testing it, it'd be 18.18. If you wanted to take it based off the candle size, you can always adjust it to 29.29. It's just up to preference, however you guys want to do it. But yeah, the trade is technically running right now. We're going to follow through with it and we'll see how it plays through. But again, I missed the entry. So unfortunately, I mean, this whole day has been kind of messy. So I think I'm better off not being in any entries right now because the market's kind of all over the place. But I am testing these strategies. So I still have to document them, even though I'm not taking the trade myself. So back to what I said, back to what I was talking about with iPhone. I looked at TFF, it's exactly the same iPhone. So I'm not sure, you're probably on a different symbol. I don't think you're on the right symbol because it looked exactly the same on mine. You might be on a different time frame on your TFF because TFF looks completely fine on my end. Patricia said, don't do it, Sean. Yeah, I'm not taking anything. I was just telling iPhone that the charts are exactly the same. Yeah, I'm not in any positions, guys. I haven't taken anything here. It's I mean, this whole market's been kind of all over the place for the day. So I haven't taken anything for the day yet. I'm just kind of waiting. I think I'm just going to wait for a momentum pullback scalp. That's probably going to be the most ideal entry for us here because the market here is just not moving very smooth at all. There's no momentum pullback scalp right here because it's too close to the momentum signal, right? It would have to be somewhere down below here. Guys, so just a reminder for like a lot of people, because a lot of people have been asking me questions, not you, Marie, but just in general with everyone else here. A lot of people are getting confused with these strategies. So if this is too confusing for you, then don't pay attention to like anything else, right? Just focus on one strategy because I feel like a lot of you guys here are trying to pick up on everything here. So we're testing 4 strategies. I mean, if you find one that you like, if you like the high level momentum scalp, if you like the intraday scalp, if you like the breakout, if you like the momentum counter scalp, just focus on 1 or 2 strategies. If you're focusing on all 4, you're just going to mess everything up and you're going to fail at everything, right? So just make sure that that you guys are looking at you're actually knowing what's going on. Because if you keep asking, like if you guys are asking questions and it's like not the right question, or if it's like completely off, then there's like the main thing you have to do is go back and actually understand the strategy. So just keep that in mind, guys. I've just been getting a lot of questions lately, like with the liquidity, and then also for the intraday scalp, and then also for basically all the strategies that we're looking at. I mean, they're very simple strategies, but I can see how they're easy to get confused because they're different criteria for each strategy. So just keep that in mind, guys. Let's see if there's anything over here. So the trade's still running. Technically, this momentum, this intraday scalp is still running, but you guys can see how slow the volatility is, right? It's not really worth taking right now. So even if it does come down and hit TP, it's just not worth taking. Again, I'm not in this position, guys. This is just for documentation purposes because we want to see if this trade will play out. I think what I'll do here is I'll take this off so you guys don't think I'm in the position, because I know a lot of you guys try to hop in. You just get on the chart and then you see that there's a markup there and you think that I'm in the position, but I'm not in the position. So I haven't taken anything today. I actually missed out on the breakout V2. I didn't miss out on that. I skipped that one. There was a counter scalp here that didn't play through. And then there was a now intraday scalp that's currently running. So this one is currently running right now. It's like at break even, but there's not necessarily anything there that that's in place. So let's see. Question from Ruin. Ruin's asking, is there a place on Discord that tells us what indicators you've got to use? Maybe I've overlooked it. I mean, if you look at the strategy tells you exactly what you're looking for. So if the strategy says look at the pivots, then you got to use the pivots. If it says look for momentum, you got to use the momentum, right? Each strategy is slightly different. So, like what Maddie said, the course. Like the course is literally where everything's at, guys. So if you guys ever need to look over a strategy, I mean, you can even go on the Discord. If you go on the Discord, all the strategies are here. Like you guys just have to look. Like I've made everything so like everything's in front of you. It's literally in front of you. You just have to look. So you go to the Discord and you want to know what strategy it is, right? You click on the video. The video literally tells you, okay, you need these indicators, this stuff, that stuff. I don't know, like I try to make it as simple as possible, but you just have to look, guys. Like you just go on the Discord, everything's in the strategies. If you go to the course, everything is in the course. Like it's been where it's been for the past like 5 years now. It's like nothing's changed here. So there should be no confusion with like what to, if you're looking for something specific. Everything's even in order right here. If you go down right here, I have all the indicators and then all the strategies. So guys, just make sure that you guys are looking, like you guys are actually looking first before like jumping to the conclusion that it's not there. So, but Ruin, if you want to look, just look at the video. If you want to look at the video, it's there. If you want to look at the strategy tells you exactly what indicators are being used. So just make sure that you guys are looking in the proper areas, but there's no improper area because there's only one area to look. It's like, look at the course or look at the Discord where it says strategies. That's where everything would be. But all right, so we're still looking at the entry right here, guys, for the counter scalp, or sorry, I'm so confused now because I'm getting so many questions about different things. This right here is the intraday scalp. It's still running, guys. So again, as I mentioned, I'm not in this position. We're just documenting it for this specific strategy. But I'm not in the position. So there's nothing here yet with regard to the momentum pullback scalp. For the momentum pullback scalp, we need price to actually drop down a bit lower. And also the ATR right here is a little too low. It's currently, it was at 14 like a few seconds ago. So for me personally, I would recommend that you guys just stay out of the market right now because there's nothing going on. There's just a lot of sideways movement, and then there's also a lot of consolidation. So you can see over here we had the range where price was just ranging. Price then broke out of this area, and then now it's still ranging down here. So I wouldn't really recommend taking any trades right now, guys, because there's not really much of a direction. If price continues to climb down lower, so say, for example, if price continues to drop, so consolidates here, then drops back down, then okay, at that point, then yeah, look for some sells, right? At that point, then we'll look for momentum scalp around this area. But right now, it's just not in a good area. All right, so looking at, I mean, there's just nothing going on here, guys. It's still pretty flat. Let me go and just update the structure over here. Let me see if there's anything else that we need to update. I mean, not really too much. We could just adjust this slightly. All right, so the trade is still technically running. If you guys are in the intraday scalp, it's still running right now. Again, I'm not in this position. I'm going to try to remind you guys as much as possible I'm not in this position, but it looks like it blasted right through the full TP. So intraday scalp right here hit full TP. It took a very long time. Typically, this trade hits like within the first candle or two, but it did hit. So we have 2 wins and 1 loss for today with regard to the strategies that we're following and testing. We had a win over here for the momentum counter scalp. Or sorry, we had a loss over here for the momentum counter scalp. We had a win for the breakout V2, and then we had a win over here for the intraday scalp. So played through. I mean, it took forever, but it played through. So that's all that matters. The entry right here came up at 702. It was for a sell. It was a win. Total profit on that trade, I think the ATR was at 18. So plus 18. So it pretty much covered the loss from yesterday. If you guys took the trade yesterday, it covered the loss because yesterday was negative 18. Today was positive 18. So there goes the intraday scalp. So win-loss ratio right now for the intraday scalp is currently at a 64% win rate. So these strategies here are 1-to-1 risk to rewards, meaning that anything above 50% is profit, right? Anything above 50% is going to be profit. So right here, this is profitable. This is profitable. Every strategy here is profitable. So it doesn't matter. That's why I keep telling you guys, like, just focus on one, because if you focus on one strategy here, you're going to make profit regardless, because it has a win-loss ratio of above 50%. It's a 1-to-1 risk reward. So either way, it doesn't matter which one you're taking. If you just focus on one strategy, you should be in profit by the end of whatever time you trade it from. So like if you've been trading the intraday scalp from September 4th up until today, September 27th, you'd be up 14%, right? Because that's where we tested it from. So if you did that and you're doing a challenge, pretty much guaranteed your pass right here, just by taking this specific entry. All right, so that's it with that entry right there. I think the only last one that we're looking for would be the high-low momentum scalp. So we're looking for a high-low momentum scalp, and then we're also looking for, so technically there is a momentum pullback scalp right here. It hasn't filled yet, but it is, looks like it might fill right here. Let me see if I can maybe get in on my, this is at 30. That's too late. I was going to try to get in on my my Top Step account, but the order actually didn't fill yet. So right here we have a sell momentum, we have a bearish trend, price push down below. I mean, technically the entry could have happened right here if you really wanted it to, but it's too close, so I probably wouldn't have taken it myself. But right here again, price came down, retraced up. The entry would be right here at the 30 mark. Change this right here. So this right here would be the momentum pullback scalp if price does come up and fill it. I mean, it hasn't filled yet, so we'll see, but yeah, 33,830. Let's see, Rune's asking, I guess I asked the wrong question. What's the indicator you use at the very bottom? It's called the ATR. So it says right there, ATR, Rune. ATR for average true range. So you can type in ATR or average true range, same thing, it'll come up on there. Thanks, Daniel, for confirming that as well. All right, so we have to wait for the pullback again. I'd probably avoid this entry again, guys. The ATR is too low. You can see right here, it keeps shifting between 15 and 14. And it needs to be consistently 15 or above. So I typically want it to be around like 16. 15 is already pushing it because the ATR is too low. And you can see that price is just going sideways. There's no reason for you to like be forcing any trades right now, because the last thing you want to do is get caught in a position and then it just ends up going back and forth for like the next, 10, 30 minutes or so. But if you guys did take the entry, I mean, technically it's running right now. So let me just make some adjustments right here. Yeah, it looks like it already hit TP. I don't know if anybody caught it. I didn't take it myself, so that's not going to count, obviously. The only trades that I count are the ones that I personally take myself. I didn't feel comfortable with this position, so I didn't take it. So there's just nothing for me to take right here, guys. I haven't taken anything today, which is kind of shocking, honestly. It's shocking that I haven't taken anything. Because I've seen so many entries come up and I just didn't have I didn't have a gut feeling to like take it. Typically, intuition does play a part with trading. I know a lot of people try to say to keep your emotions out of it, which I agree with. But if you don't have that gut feeling where you're like, okay, this trade's going to hit, I'm not going to take it. So this trade here, I didn't have a confidence to take it, so I didn't take it, but it played through and it went straight to TP. So if you guys took it, great. I'm not going to count this as a win, even though it did come up. Again, I'll review the strategy for this. So we have a sell momentum here. Price was below the pivots. So this indicated that we were in a bearish trend with regard to the pivots. The trend meter down below is also red, so it's also bearish. You can see how price pushed down right here and retraced with this green candle. The entry would happen right here at this next level. So that level right there is where you'd have a sell stop or a sell limit. And then as soon as price came up right here with this red candle, it came up, filled the order, and then went straight down to TP. So if you guys took it, great. If you guys didn't, it's completely fine. I mean, I didn't take it myself. So if I'm not taking these trades, it's a sign that, you should probably be a little more careful in the market. There's just not enough volatility right now for me to want to take something. Because the last thing you want to do is take a trade and then this happens, right? Where it goes sideways for a good like 10, 20 minutes. And then eventually it finally comes down. But you'd probably be stressed out at that point. Yeah, Daniel said didn't take it since signal was flashing. Yeah, exactly. And I thought the same thing too, Daniel. That's the whole reason why I didn't take it myself. Um, I saw that buy signal and I was like, okay, I'm probably not going to take this because this looks like a bad sign. And it's all good. The thing with trading, guys, and we discussed this all throughout the week, is that the thing that sets me apart from other traders is that I know when not to take a trade. And it prevents me from going into a losing streak or going into a downward spiral. With a lot of people, it's hard to stop, right? If you lose a trade, you want to revenge trade into the next one. For me personally, I'd rather just not lose that trade to begin with, and I just move on to the next one. Because the thing is, if you lose a trade and then you move on to the next one, you're climbing out of a hole, right? You already dug yourself a hole. If you just avoid that trade and you don't lose it, and then you just, even if it wins, you're like, okay, it's fine. I didn't feel comfortable with it. If you don't lose that trade and you move on to the next one and the next one wins, then you're already in profit, right? Versus climbing yourself back out of that hole. Because you're either going to be climbing yourself out of a hole or you're going to be in profit. I'd rather be in profit and just avoid the trade that I didn't feel comfortable with. So yeah, we got news coming, but we'll be here in about 10 minutes. We'll see, what happens here in the next couple minutes or so. Hopefully it does bring some volume, but we'll take it as is. Yeah, Patricia over here also mentioned, she said, questions are for mentoring sessions, not during live. Please, we all need to concentrate on live trading. The market is too crazy right now for questions. Not being rude, but in fairness to others. Yeah, exactly. And I agree with Patricia as well. So guys, I'll take responsibility for that as well. I should have been ignoring questions anyways to begin with. But, knowing myself, I try to answer everybody's questions as I can. But yeah, just like what Patricia said, guys, if you guys do have any specific questions regarding strategies, for Ruin's question, his is like a quick question, but if you have a question about a strategy, then hold that for like the mentoring session. But Ruin's question was fine. I'm not going to knock Ruin's question. It's just he asked the question wrong initially. He asked like, where can you find the indicator list? When he could have just said like, hey, what's the indicator down below? But it's all good. We all ask things kind of slightly different. Yeah, exactly, Maddie, 100%. Yeah, I know, it's very, very helpful. All right. So, all right, guys, there's no entries for us right now. Unfortunately, this market's been kind of crazy. If you guys have been seeing, and I think this is the positive thing about us trading daily every morning, is that you guys can tell when the market's moving crazy, right? Because this doesn't happen normally. Like this big dump over here doesn't normally happen like this. Or like this big dump and then a consolidation phase. Like this type of movement here did not happen at all this entire week. So I think this is one of those crazy days where just like a lot of stuff happens, a lot of manipulation happens. But if you guys do trade with me daily, you guys will know that this here is not, it's not normal. So whenever this happens during the market, it's probably a good sign to just stay out of the market. So just, keep that in mind, guys. The market is always changing. And one thing that like somebody asked me yesterday, so the thing with trading is that you'll never be 100%. Like someone messaged me the other day, one of our older members, that he kind of went off and traded on his own, but he hasn't been consistent. He said like every couple of weeks he'll message me and be like, okay, like I almost had it and like my strategy sucks again. And I'm like, yeah, that's the thing. Like trading is never going to be 100%. That's why for us here, guys, I'm always testing. As you guys can see, I have a lot of data here for all the strategies that we take, because I'm quick to adjust with the market. So if the market changes a little bit, I'm able to adjust. Like, for example, we were just applying the momentum pullback scalps, right? And then I saw that these counter scalps started to work very well. It has a high win-loss ratio of 82%. So I was like, okay, if this is the case, then, we'll start applying this specific strategy. So the thing with me in trading, guys, is that I'm always consistently getting better. So I'm always getting better and I'm always adjusting. If the market's going sideways, I'm adjusting to sideways strategies. If the market's going directional, I'm doing trending strategies. If the market's very volatile, then we're going to take some breakouts, right? The market's always going to be slightly different, and we just have to be able to adjust with it accordingly. So just keep that in mind, guys. Like you're never, like, for example, if you see a lot of people who trade supply and demand, I've seen a lot of people blown accounts like over the past couple of months who trade only supply and demand. You can't just trade one way. we trade a specific style, but we don't trade one way, right? Sometimes we trade heavy trending strategies. Sometimes we trade ranging strategies, but we all trade based off momentum. So our style of trading is momentum trading, but our strategy type is slightly different depending on what the market is giving us. So, just keep that in mind, guys. You guys have to be versatile, like what Maddie said. Yeah, you have to have a versatile system where you can adjust with the market conditions. Like, for example, right here, if you're trading supply and demand, like I could already see people who are trading supply and demand. I'm pretty sure a lot of people tried to buy at like this dump right here, right? And I'm pretty sure whoever bought right here, they thought they had it right, and then it came down and stopped them out. So, I've been trading for over 10 years, so I could kind of see like where other people are trading. So I know how supply and demand and support and resistance traders trade. They try to catch these little bounces, like these bounces off these big pushes, but a lot of times it gets screwed. Price comes up and it comes right back down and stop them out. So yeah, anyways, there's no entries for us right now. I don't think there was a high level momentum scalp that's come up yet. So technically that trade is like the next one coming up. We have the entries that came up for the momentum counter scalp. It didn't play out. That was a stop. Breakout V2 was a win. Intraday scalp was a win. And now we still have one entry here for the high level momentum scalp that has not come up yet. We have about 30 minutes left in the market. So I'm sure the strategy is going to come up eventually. It's just going to be a matter of time until it does. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Yeah, Maddie mentioned knowing when and when not to use certain strategies is key. Yeah, no, 100%. And if you guys look at the course, I have like over 30 strategies. So it just depends on like which one you like to apply. And like if you guys find one that you like, just let me know. Like ask me if it works well during these markets, and I'll let you know if it does or not. Most of the time, if it's not something that we're applying here on the live session, it's probably not in, well, I wouldn't want to say that. Because like, for example, we don't apply the V1 variation, but the V1 variation has been hitting pretty much every day. So, there hasn't been any V1s today, but that's like one of Vince's favorite strategies. And yeah, it works pretty well for the most part. Thanks, William. Yeah, William said that the retail sentiment has changed. So let's go ahead and take a look at the overall bias again. So looking over here at retail sentiment is currently 63% short. If you guys don't know how to use this retail sentiment, this indicates that 63% of retail traders are currently buying right now. Or sorry, 63% long. So it shows that 63% of retail traders are currently buying. So if you guys have done the research on trading, about like 90% of people fail at trading, right? So if 60% of those 90% of people are buying right now, what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to look to sell, right? So obviously right here at 63% long, I try to do the opposite of everybody else. If everybody's buying, I'm going to short. So we're looking to short here. With regard to that, retail sentiment is bearish because we're looking to do the opposite and sell. Looking over here at the fundamentals, I'm going to refresh this real quick. The fundamentals are still pretty flat. So they're at plus 17 points, which is still neutral. Let's go plus 20. Hasn't really changed too much. Looking over here at short-term technicals, the 1 minute over here is bullish now. A 5 minute is bearish, 10 minutes bearish. Everything else is bearish. So looking at this right here, this is going to be a bearish neutral until price comes back down. So with that said, looking at today's overall bias, we currently have a bearish retail sentiment, neutral fundamental bias, bearish neutral short-term technical, and bearish long-term technical. So with that said, we still have a bearish bias for today. So typically you don't have to look for sells, but if you are looking for a trade, you probably want to point towards a sell. You want to lean towards a sell, because even if you make a mistake, price is likely to come down. Like say, for example, you enter a trade and you're like, oh crap, I entered at the wrong area. Odds of this coming back down to hit your TP or even break even are very likely. It's probably going to come down enough to hit your TP or your break even. So that's the reason why we trade with the bias. So again, just a reminder, guys, the way that we trade here, our style of trading is momentum trading. We trade momentum in the direction of trend. That's typically all of our strategies. They go in that same direction. So the thing with us is that it's cool because we're basically moving with the market. So a lot of people who like to trade supply and demand or support resistance, they're trading off structures, but they don't really have a bias, right? Like for example, sometimes they try to combine trend with supply and demand, or trend with support and resistance, but it doesn't always work out that way, because the thing is they might be entering trades when the trend might be shifting. So with us here personally, we try to look for a trend first, and then we look for momentum in that direction. So again, right here, we still have a bearish trend. You can see prices coming back down. We'll be looking for a momentum pullback scalp if this candle does close with the sell signal, which it looks like it's going to. All right, so the candle here did close. Now we're looking for price to come down. So you can see the head and shoulders pattern that I typically draw up for you guys. So we currently had like this area right here. Price came up. You want to have that push back up right here and then come down. I don't like trading patterns, but you guys can see here that it's pretty clear that this momentum pullback scalp strategy is very similar to a head and shoulders. So you can see that there's an overlap. Like even though I don't trade patterns, our strategy here is based off momentum, and it lines up with a head and shoulders pattern. So, everybody has different names for these strategies. Like for me, I don't say that I'm trading patterns, but now that I've been looking at it, I can't like not see the pattern anymore because the pattern is just so obvious. So anyways, right here, we have a sell signal. We're looking for this to come down, retrace, and come back down further. And that's where we take the entry from. So we're basically looking to take a head and shoulders pattern, but at the earliest time possible, which is right here. You'll see a lot of people who trade head and shoulders, and they try to trade down here, right? At that point, it's too late. You already missed the move at that point. So we're entering like immediately where it's available up here. So, all right, guys, we have a possible momentum pullback scalp that's setting up. We do have news right here, so you want to be a little careful with your entry. If you are looking to take it, you probably want to wait for price to stabilize a bit before you end up taking anything here. Thanks, Maddie, for the heads up. So we got news right here at 7:30. Let's check the news. The news was oil news, and it was positive. It was low impact, low to medium impact, but it was positive. So we'll see if this pushes price up any bit, but if not, I think it'll continue climbing down. So anyways, looking at this here, we are pretty much just sitting tight and waiting for this momentum pullback scalp to play out. All right, so we're just gonna sit tight for a little bit, guys. Wait for this here to pull back. Once it pulls back, we'll look for that possible entry. The farthest pullback that I'll enter from would be right here at the 50 mark. The ETR is kind of decent right now. It's not great, but it's decent. It's currently at 16. So we'll hope that it stays above 15. If it doesn't, then we might have to make some adjustments here. Let's see, we got some profits over here from Glenn. Glenn locked in a total profit of about 300 for the day. Nice work, Glenn. A solid profit right there. Looking over here at the Discord, we have some more team profits. So we have, let's see, we have Barty over here, total profit of 10,000 for the day. Nice work, Barty, on his funded account. Nice work right there. We have Ross here, total profit of 1,760 for the day. Yeah, exactly. Ross said, rough day today. Movement was erratic. I agree 100%. We have Gian over here, total profit of 1,390 for the day. Nice work, Gian. Nice recovery off that loss. We have Delicia over here, total profit of 322 for the day. Nice work, Delicia. We have Marcin, total profit of, looks like he's at a slight loss, but he's making his way back up. He just climbed his way back up. 2 wins right here, 1 loss, and then another win right there. So nice little recovery right there, Marcin. Hopefully you have 1 more win to, get it back up. And then we have Barty over here as well. Previous profits of about 8,000. So we went from 8,000 to 10,000. We have Natasha here, total profit of 319 for the day. All wins right there. Solid work, Natasha. And then we have David over here, total profit of 3286 for the day. Nice work, David. Earlier profits from Marcin, 300. And that's about it for now. If you guys have more profits to send in, feel free to send them in. Otherwise, we'll continue looking for this possible entry here All right, so we have a setup right here that's currently, so if this closes below the black line, the entry here is going to be at the 30 mark. If it closes above, the entry is going to be over here at the 40 mark. $33.30. It's got to close green though. So if it doesn't close green, then there's not going to be a pullback. Let's see, I couldn't even tell how that candle closed, guys. So I don't know. We can't take that there as the entry. I don't want to eyeball it, so I'm going to leave it as is. If this closes green, then the next entry point would be up here at the 40 mark. It's kind of hard to tell. I don't want to eyeball that because I know you can probably look at like MC4 and you can maybe see where it's at, but I think it's just too, that's like doing extra. If the entry's not there, don't force the entry. Okay, so price is pushing up pretty heavy right now. I don't know if something's going on in the market, but big push up right here. Technically, if this is the case, the entry would be right here at the 50 mark. But with this big push right here, I'm not really feeling comfortable with any entry. Okay, if it goes anywhere higher than this, then obviously there's no entry. So technically the entry would have happened right here. Again, I didn't feel comfortable with it, so I didn't take it. You guys can see the huge green candle right here. I mean, this is probably gonna come down and hit TP, but if it closes with a green momentum signal, technically you have to close out of that with a small profit. So if this closes with that green buy signal right there, even though it's invalid, you still have to close out, and it went straight to full TP. So unfortunately, guys, today I'm not on my game today. I'm just not feeling good about the market. So every trade here pretty much hit TP. We had previous momentum pullback scalp that happened over here. It hit full TP. Another one right here, also full TP. If you guys took it, I mean, great work. But for me personally, I just didn't feel comfortable taking any of these trades. There's just a lot of red flags here. You know, you see this big green candle. I don't really feel comfortable taking a trade. I'd be okay if it was down here, but if it was up here, it's just a little too high for possible reversal. But it did come up and it hit full TP right here. So again, I'll go over the criteria for the strategy. We had a sell signal right here. Pivots were bearish because price was below the pivots. Pivots were angling down. Trend meter down below is red, so we were obviously looking for a sell here. You can see how price pushed down. We had this green candle right here, which was a retracement. Your entry would happen right here at the 50 level. As price pushed up right here, would have filled it. It went straight to TP. And then you would have been out of the position with full TP. And then again, right there, if you were still in the position, fuller TP, if they continue to drop down a bit further. So, I mean, if you guys took the trade, great work. I haven't taken any trades today, guys, unfortunately. So I don't really have anything to really show for today because I didn't take anything. But if you guys did take trades, I mean, it looks pretty solid overall. Yeah, Randy said the movement is so deceiving today. It's kind of tough. Yeah, and I agree with you 100%, Randy. It was definitely very tough today. The movement kind of threw me off like all throughout the day. So I didn't necessarily feel comfortable taking anything. Even the breakout V2, this was a great entry. It went straight to TP. So if you guys remember the breakout V2 from today, so I document every screenshot of the trades. The breakout V2 today was perfect. It literally had no drawdown. So you can see right there, it like filled and it went straight to TP. If we didn't have this big candle right here, I would have been perfectly fine to take it, but you know, it didn't play out like how I wanted to. So I didn't take the breakout V2. Unfortunately, it was a perfect entry again, like yesterday. I wish I would have taken it, but it is what it is. You know, you can't dwell too much on the past. It's like, okay, it happened. But yeah, even for these momentum pullback scalps, it's just such a choppy market where it doesn't look good. You can't really see the choppiness here, but here on the clean chart, you guys can see that it's very messy, right? Yeah, the mess, it's super messy right here, all over the place. Let me turn this off. Yeah, you guys can see there's not really much of a direction. I mean, price is bearish, but you guys can see how it kind of just wipes people out. So you can see how it kind of just fakes people out, right? It pushes up. So for example, price comes down right here. And what do you think happens when price came down right here? I think a lot of people bought from this point, or not from this point, they bought when it started to climb up. So I think they bought like up here at the top, and then it consolidated a little bit and it stopped everybody out. What do you think happened right here? When price pushed up, what do you think happened at this point? I think people bought right here as well because they thought price was going to reverse. And, I wouldn't blame anybody for doing that because, for example, if you look at this right here, what you would have thought, what do you think a beginner trader would have thought right here? They would have thought that this was a reversal and this was going to keep climbing up, right? So that right there would have been, a pretty solid entry if you were looking to take it, because it looks like a full-on reversal. It looks like price came down, established a low, and it was going to reverse. However, the market was like, nope, I'm not going to let you get that reversal. And then what happened? It came back down and stopped everybody out, right? Whoever was taking buys. Good thing for us is we traded with the direction of bias, so we're looking to take buys here anyways. Looking over here, again, what do you think happened right here? There's another gotcha move right here where they just trap people. Today is today's Wednesday. It's not Tuesday. I thought today was. Wait, what is today? Today's Wednesday, right? Yeah, it's Wacky Wednesday for Sisu. Wacky Wednesday. So again, right here, if you see this push up right here, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would have thought, okay, this is going to reverse up and continue climbing. And this just is another trap for people. So whoever is looking to buy, and the reason why we know this right here is because if you look at retail sentiment, there's a bunch of suckers right here on the buy side, right? Bunch of suckers who are just getting suckered into these buys. So when they see price come up right there, they're like, okay, price is going to come up. And the market just comes right back and says, nope, we're coming right back down. And that's exactly where market's at. So this is why it's important that you guys use the bias, because the bias is really key. So you don't trade in the wrong direction. A lot of people trade in the wrong direction. They want to be contrarian, but they're not really being contrarian in the proper way. So the thing with a lot of people, if you've noticed, a lot of people, they try to trade, they say they're a contrarian trader and they trade against the trend and stuff. But the thing is, you're not supposed to be trading against the trend. You're supposed to be trading with the trend. You're supposed to be trading against the people. So if you look at retail traders here, if everybody's buying, you want to do the opposite. If the trend's bearish and people are buying, I'm going to keep selling, right? That's the direction I want to trade it. And you can see over here, even if you made a mistake, the trade would still play through. Even if you made a mistake down here, say, for example, you entered like somewhere down here, right? You still would have survived the trade and it would have came back down, hit your TP. And that's the main reason why, we trade the way that we trade here. And you'll see that a lot of people don't trade like us, which I'm glad, because I don't want anybody to trade like us anyways. I'd rather keep trading this way and keep making profits in the market and then have everybody keep losing, because I prefer to win, honestly. I can't be a high risk reward trader. If you guys have like a risk reward that's like 1 to 5, then you're probably used to losing, right? For me, I prefer to win. I'd rather be high win rate, 1 to 1, even negative risk reward in some instances. But I'd rather continue to win because it keeps my morale up and it keeps me in the game. So other than that, let me see if there's anything else here that we can look. There's nothing for us to take right now. I don't even think there's a high level momentum scalp that came up today, or there might be one right here. So we currently have a lower low. So if we get a buy signal that breaks and closes past pivots 1 and 2 right here, it's technically going to be an entry for a high level momentum scalp. If anybody's looking to take it, I'm not going to take it, of course, because the bias here is bearish. So I'm not really looking to get caught in that direction. So other than that, let me see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. Let me scroll up real quick. Let's see, Sam said Gary Gensler from SEC is testifying at Congress right now. I think that's what's causing the erratic movement. I can see that. Yeah, no, 100%. If something is going on behind the scenes, that's probably what's causing the market to kind of spike around a bit. So that's good to know. Thanks, Sam, for the heads up. If that's the case, then maybe it's a good idea that I sat out of the market today. Because the thing is, I could have made some wins, but I could have made some losses as well. The market's just, it's just all over the place, guys. It's just not really it's not a great market to trade in today. So for me personally, I'd rather not have any trades and just have a blank account for the day versus trading and then, ending up with some risky trades here. Because yeah, you'd probably win some trades and you'd feel good about yourself. But then if you look back at it, you're like, damn, that was a risky trade. I probably should have skipped it. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have had that feeling before. Yeah, Siobhan said he's 1-1 today. You can see it. Yeah, definitely, Siobhan. If you're 1-1, then you're good. If you're at break even for the day, I mean, that's better than bringing it at a loss. So I would take that, run with it, come back tomorrow fresh, and run back in the market. I mean, right now it's just not a good time to be trading, because the volatility is decent. So the volatility is currently at 16, but the volatility is not really directional. So even though there's volatility here, it's just going back and forth. You can see over here on the clean chart. Let me just take everything off again. Like the market is moving, but it's just going sideways a lot. So you'll see sideways movement, push down, sideways movement, push up, sideways, push down, sideways. It's not a good area to trade in, because the thing is, yeah, you can get lucky, you know, when price pushes to the next level, but if you're unlucky, you're gonna get caught on the wrong side. So yeah, Randy said, looks to me, it's bouncing around the daily liquidity, and that's why it's moving like this. Yeah, I can see that too. I can definitely see that. So let's see, question from Alan. Alan's asking, do you think the huge sell caused all this at the open? Not necessarily, Alan, because if that was the case, then price would have came back up to this area here, right? Because this is all different. Like this is all like on its own down here. If that big sell-off happened, like if this had an effect, so for example, here's the different scenarios, right? Whenever you have a big candle like this on open, typically what will happen next is price will either continue dropping and just consistently continue dropping, because this sell-off right here was just a signal to continue selling. But that didn't happen here, right? Price came down and then it just went sideways. The other scenario is price can drop here initially on open, and then it comes back to open, right? Back to where it was over here. So for this big push here on open, this, in order for that to have like a real effect, is like this could either one of the two scenarios could have happened, where price would have came down and then corrected back up, and then it would have been like nothing would have ever happened, right? That's usually the case. Usually if there's a big push on open or pre-market, it usually comes back up and then it's like, okay, nothing ever happened. This was all manipulation. I think this is just standalone. It just happened pre-market, and then from there, price just ended up doing its own thing down here. So, and that's just from my experience. You know, I've been trading for a while. So like whenever I see a big candle like this, it either corrects back up and then it goes back into that area like this drop never happened, or it just continues dropping. I mean, it is technically continuing to drop, but it's not necessarily like how it should be. It should just be a smooth drop down. It shouldn't be like drop, consolidation, drop, consolidation, right? Typically it's like, it's usually like the same pattern just repeats itself if it does follow in that direction. But all right, guys, so I don't really see much here for us to look at. If there's any other question that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. It's just not the type of market that I want to trade in personally, so I'm not looking to take anything here. Also, I don't think there's anything that's going to come up from now until 8 o'clock. It's 7:46 right now, so we have about 14 minutes till 8. In order for me to have another momentum pullback scalp, I need to get a buy signal here. Then I need to get a sell signal, and I need that to retrace up and come back down. So you guys can see this. I can't like unsee the head and shoulders. The momentum pullback scalp is literally a head and shoulders. It's just that ours is more refined. So instead of taking the head and shoulders down here, like a lot of people, we take the head and shoulders at the second shoulder right here. So that's why our trades here are almost always hits. It's such a good strategy because we're getting in at perfect entry point, like right here. And then if the trade doesn't play out in our favor, we're able to pull out early. Like we get an opposite momentum signal and it continues climbing, we can pull out for a small loss, right? So that's why I like the strategy so much. And this is why this is a staple. It's one of our main strategies because, you know, from what I've seen, like I've done my research on like the most profitable strategies, and head and shoulders is actually one of the higher probability strategies. It's just the entry point is always off. So, I mean, we'll keep using it. Let's take a look at liquidity. A lot of you guys are talking about liquidity over here. So it looks like all the levels of liquidity here got hit. I mean, pretty much all the blue ones. So you guys can see it makes sense now, right? Why I colored them blue. So first level right here got hit. Second level right there got hit. I think this new way of marking up liquidity is super, super useful. right there. Next level got hit. Down here, next level got hit. Pretty much all the levels in blue got hit perfectly. So I don't know if you guys like this new way of me marking liquidity, but I think this here works out very well. Personally, you guys can see how this level right here is red. So if it's in red like that, you know, maybe avoid it or wait for like the second or third touch, because you can see over here when price came down another time, it actually went right through. First touch here didn't play out, but everything else kind of went straight through. So we'll continue to mark up liquidity like this. I think this way of market liquidity works out a lot better than the other way, because the other way is just time-based, but this actually, we're marking it based off the level of strength liquidity has. So yeah, I mean, if you guys just focus on the blue levels of liquidity, it looks like you can have a pretty nice, pretty nice push through. So all right, guys, it's 7:50 right now. If there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. If there's anything else that you want me to review or cover, feel free to put it in the chat. Again, if you guys are not part of the Discord, make sure to join the Discord, guys, because this is the last day I'll be posting the link on the Telegram. I'll still post the public group, so I'll post the YouTube on here, but I'm not going to post the Zoom link. So just keep that in mind, guys. And also check your messages. Or if you guys just joined the room and you guys haven't confirmed your email with me, like for example, there's 2 people here who just joined, make sure to message me, or I'll just message you. Check your DMs. So don't forget to check your DMs, because I'll be messaging you, asking you what your email, so I can link it to your account. Because if you guys can see over here from the member list, you guys will see, or here, I'll just go over here real quick. So if you guys see here on the side, if your name is in yellow, that means that your account has not been confirmed yet. So you're still in the limbo. And then eventually, if you don't confirm it within a week or so, then you're just going to get kicked off and put into the free group. So if your name is in gray, that just means that you're like part of the free group. You don't have access to the premium Zooms. If your name is in blue, that means that you're in the premium, you have access to the Zoom links. If your name is in yellow, that means you're in limbo. You just joined, but you haven't confirmed your email yet. So in order for you to turn blue, you have to confirm your email. So just keep that in mind, guys. If you guys want to message me directly, you can just message me your email and I can do it. Otherwise, I'll message you personally. And just make sure to confirm it within a week or so. If not, you'll just get kicked off into the free group. And once you confirm it, you'll be moved back into the premium. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for today. If you guys made some profit today, feel free to send in your profits. You guys did pretty good. I mean, overall, looking at everybody's profits for the day, you guys did pretty solid. I didn't take anything today, so I don't have anything to share myself. We have Barty here with a total profit of about 8,000 for the day. We have Francis over here, total profit of 822. Nice work, Francis. Yeah, so Barty over here, he actually took all the liquidity. So Barty here focuses mainly on liquidity. That's all he takes. And the thing is, Barty's not even part of the premium. So it's you guys can see here, if you look at Barty, so Barty's been part of the group for a couple months now, almost like half a year. Barty just got funded on the funded trader. He got funded, I think, 200K. So just keep that in mind, guys. Like, you don't have to be part of the premium to do well. You just have to know how to follow direction. Barty here, he likes the liquidity push. All he does is he comes on the live session. He sees where I mark up my liquidity, and you guys can see how like 1, 2, 3, 4 levels here got hit, right? So 4 levels of liquidity right here got hit. He focuses on just one strategy. You look at Barty's profits for the day, he locked in about 8,000. So just keep that in mind, guys. If you guys want to be really good at something, just focus on one strategy, whether it be the liquidity push, whether it be the momentum pullback scalp. I think the momentum pullback scalp is probably going to be like #1 strategy if you guys want to find consistency. The liquidity push, I don't even like it myself. I mean, I like it as a confluence, but not as a standalone strategy. But I think the momentum pullback scalp is it's like A1. It's always on point. You have the ability to manage a position and pull out early for a loss if necessary. The second strategy that would probably be I would kind of fall towards would be the breakout V2. We're still testing it, so I don't think it's necessarily the best strategy yet. The win-loss ratio is decent. It's at 64.29% win rate. So for the month so basically from August 14th up until September 27th, basically 2 months, there's been 18 wins, 10 losses, total profit of 2,000 pips. with a win-loss ratio of 64.29%. So if you took every breakout V2 entry from August 14th up until the 27th, you'd be up 14.29% because you have a 50% win rate, and then you'd have everything on top that would be profit. So, all right, guys, other than that, if you guys are new here and you guys want to learn the strategies, just go to our website, kodikaitrades.com. Again, if you want to learn the strategies and get access to the Discord, just go to the website, kodikaitrades.com, click on unlock your free access, and it'll give you access to the Discord. If you guys want premium access to the indicators and strategies, you can click here for the live trading room and click here for the strategies. Otherwise, I think that's about it, guys. If you guys have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, sit tight. If you guys don't have to trade today, just sit out the market, come back tomorrow fresh, and then we'll kick off the Thursday trading session tomorrow morning. So, all right, guys, other than that, I will see you guys back here tomorrow. If you guys have questions, reach out. Otherwise, see you.